Hey, ooh, hello. Hey. Good morning, guys. What's going on? Alright. Let's build this thing. Get us all set up here. How's everybody doing today? Let's see. Advanced. That should be good. Hello. Let's put that over here. Good morning. Let me say some hellos to y'all. Let's see who's here. Reiji, what's going on? Jerry. Is it Matthias or Matthias? I sometimes don't know how to pronounce that name. Jake. My mic's over here too. Maybe I'm gonna remove that. Let's see. Jason, Roadbuster, Juan, Alex, Eric. Did I say Eric? Anyway. Shar, Greg, what's going on? Non-Tat, Amatsu, Seth, Furry, Nerfscape. Okay, Nerfscape or Nerfscrape? I had to check that. Sid, Jake, Daniel. Hey guys, how about on Twitch? Nobody on Twitch? Is Twitch mad because someone was saying that I was ignoring the Twitch chat the other day? Yesterday? The other day. It seems like a long time ago. Yesterday was a long day. That tastes kind of funny. Let's get down to business here, everyone. Yes, there's Alex, King of Kingdom, Milky Shame over there on Twitch. Did someone say that? Yeah, someone said that. Because, yeah, I mean, honestly, the Twitch chat is there, but it's all kind of mixed with the YouTube chat. So, I mean, I can see both. I sometimes just don't pick it out. The icon's different to show me that it's from Twitch. But, anyway. Ooh, what was that I just knocked over? Oh, okay, just a little. My mini cutting mat, that's okay. Are you ever going to build that Regalt? Yes, you know, where is it? Yeah. I've been thinking about that recently because there's a couple people that keep asking me all the time about it, and yeah, I just need to get around to building it. So yeah, I think probably pretty soon I'll go ahead and build this up. So yeah, more than likely you guys will see that in a pretty near future, I would think. Put in my order for this kit a couple months ago. See, in June-ish. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mentioned this, I think. Did I mention this in the unboxing? Or no, I don't think I mentioned it in the unboxing, but I was talking about it yesterday during the live stream that I think, and I don't know about this for sure, but it seems like that this kit was released in Japan first before they released it in other parts of the world. So like obviously, especially if you're in America or something, but I just mean like through official P-Bandai channels, which America now has, but you're like, for example, here in Korea we have P-Bandai and usually we get stuff out at the same time. But in this case, yeah, it came out like a month later. I think that's happened before, so I think they just do that sometimes with kits. Either that or my pre-order was in the second batch, which is possible, but I don't think so. I don't think they're on to the second batch of this kit yet. I think it's all still the first batch, just going out at different times. But that could also be the case, because they do often do multiple batches of P-Bandai kits, especially if it's a big popular one. Like, I'm sure this one is. If you guys are on Twitter, you've seen like everybody in Japan's already been building this a bunch. Zaku, having a good morning. Josh, yes, I am. It's just kind of getting started, so I haven't really done a whole lot yet. I got my kids fed, breakfast, and off to school, and then came here. That's basically it. But I'm looking forward to building this, so yeah, I'm feeling good about this morning. These are all the parts for the torso. A little bit sleepy, to be honest. Hey, Alex is here. What's going on, Alex? Zangar asked, did you ever build the P-Bandai Testament? No, I decided not to get the Testament. I don't know. I built the Dragon Momoko version a few years ago. And, well, I think there's aspects about both designs that I like. And I would have enjoyed building the P-Bandai kit. I liked the way that the Bandai kit looked. I didn't necessarily not build it because I thought the Dragon Momoko version looked better. Actually, I don't even have the Dragon Momoko version anymore because I sold it. So I figured, well, if I already built it once and then didn't like it enough to want to keep it, and I just sold it again, do I really want to build another one? I can't imagine it's going to be the same thing's going to happen. I'm going to enjoy building it, but I'm not really going to be all that interested in like ever wanting to paint it, so I'm just going to want to resell it. So I opted to just pass and work on other things. I have to do that. It's like just the same thing with non-P-Bandai kits as well too. I do that. You guys know I don't review everything that comes out. I have to make choices how to best use my time. And there's some kits that I feel like you guys just don't. I wouldn't be that interested in reviewing it, and I don't think you guys really need to see my review of it, because I'm sure loads of other people will review it, and I'd think my time would better be spent working on other stuff that is not what other YouTubers are doing. So like Birdo of the Wordo, whatever happened to that resin inlay? It's here in the closet. I got it. I'd love to work on that someday too. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Gotta pick and choose. Do you cut everything off the runners and mix it up to search, or what? No, I mean, yeah, I cut everything off the runners and remove all the nubs ahead of time when I do live builds. And even when I don't do live builds, I'm just building something for review, I do the same thing. But I keep it organized here, so like all the torso parts together, all the leg parts, all the hip waist section parts and everything. So I keep it organized. A Scuffles. Let's see. Speedball Haro said, what are your thoughts on Bandai America's Gundam Infinity figure line? It looks pretty garbage, to be honest. I saw people saying that it's like comparable to the Assault Kingdom line, and I mean, like, I have a pretty rosy memory of the Assault Kingdom line. In my opinion, I always thought the Assault Kingdom line was pretty nice, to be honest. Pretty good. So like when I saw people making that comparison, I thought, what? No way. The Assault Kingdom figures look way better. But then like I went and looked back at a few Assault Kingdom figures, and I realized, yeah, okay, they're not that much better, but there is definitely a difference, and I think it's like most notably in the joints. Like on the Assault Kingdom figures, the joints look a lot better than how they look on the Gundam Infinity figures. But yeah, the Gundam Infinity figures look pretty awful. But I mean, as I understand it, they're supposed to be designed for kids, as I've heard. I don't know who's saying that and where they've heard that, so I don't know how factual that is. But I mean, it does make sense. They do seem to be probably geared towards kids just based on how simple they are. But they're not that cheap, too. The price seems pretty ridiculous. Like, Alex, if he's still in the chat there, Alex was here just a few days ago, and we were talking about that, and I hadn't really checked exactly how much those were costing ahead of time, and so I was talking to Alex about it, and we were looking at how much they actually cost, and we were both pretty amazed at the price tag on those. So yeah. Hey Shuri, hope I'm doing well. Yes, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? Have you tried the RG Mark II AUG? Yes, I built that years ago, before I was doing YouTube stuff. But yeah, I built that kit. I love it. It's a great kit. I feel like kind of chair's in the wrong place. I'm having to lean over to build. What are your thoughts on the possibility of an MG, Silver Bullet, or Dovin Wolf? Well, if you saw in my unboxing video for this, my thoughts on a possible Dovin Wolf or Silver Bullet kit are now more than I was originally expecting, or not expecting, more than I was originally kind of English is so hard. What's the word? Yes, anyway, I explained in the unboxing video. I thought, you know, based on this kit, I mean, as soon as this kit was announced, people were making that connection, saying that, oh, now we're gonna get the Dovin Wolf and Silver Bullet, and right from the start, I was saying, like, I mean, yes, because the designs are related, it is definitely more possible now that that could happen, but I was still, like, not getting too worked up about it because, honestly, like I mentioned in the unboxing video, like, when you actually look at the designs side by side, you can see there's not that much of the kit that could be reused. And you see that reflected in the runners, too, and I talked about, towards the end of the unboxing, I talked about showing the runners that it looked like there was a couple of runners that were separated for use later on one of those kits, but not that much. So yeah, I do, after seeing the runners, I do think that it is definitely more possible than I originally expected, I'll admit, that we will see one of those kits coming out, but still, if you think back to, like, the HG Momoka Pool kit, looking at the runners of the HG Momoka Pool, it's pretty obvious that those runners are planned to be reused for making a new updated HG Kapool, but haven't seen that out any time, and that's been a few years. So just because the runners are planned and the possibility is there, doesn't mean that the kit's gonna actually come anytime soon. So I think, yeah, it's totally possible we'll see an MG, Silver Bullet, and or Dovin Wolf at some point, but who knows if and when that will be. It could never actually come. We'll just have to wait and see. I hope that it does, because I do really enjoy those designs. They're both very cool, but we'll just have to see. So there's our opening cockpit. That's pretty nice, pretty cool. It's got the whole like red ball cockpit up in there. That's not the word for it, obviously. Do you think there's a chance this kit will ever be a full release? Gibo on Twitch? No, definitely not. Bandai has never done that, and I don't expect they will ever do that. Take a kit that was originally released as a P-Bandai kit and then later make it a standard release. Someone asked this question, I think, a couple weeks ago, or maybe probably about a month ago, I guess, on an episode of the live streams I do with Adam on the USA Gundam TV channel, where we answer your guys' questions, and someone asked about that. And yeah, I don't think that Bandai will ever take a kit that was originally released as a P-Bandai and then release it as a standard release kit. It's never going to happen. That said, there's some P-Bandai kits that they re-release very often, so it might as well be a standard release, because it's, at least the exclusivity of it is not there at that point. It's still probably going to cost a lot, unfortunately, to get your hands on it, depending on where you live in the world, but at least it's not like necessarily rare. Like the Master Grade Tall Geese 3 is a perfect example of that. They've reprinted that kit like 10 times. So like they reprint that kit like just as often as they do like standard release Master Grade kits. So it's not that different. Whereas, like, alternatively, the Master Grade XN Riser, I think they've which was a P-Bandai kit in Japan, but was not a P-Bandai kit outside of Japan. But they probably have printed that probably less than the Master Grade Tall Geese 3, I would imagine. I'd have to check to be sure, but if I had to guess, I would guess that. So, like, a kit that's what? Hang on, sorry. I think I missed something. Oh! Yeah, I missed putting this part on the top of there, and that's means I have to go way back. Damn it. Shit. Oh, it's a shame. Hopefully the variants of this kit won't be P-Bandai if they were to come out. Yeah, that's the question. So, if the Silver Bullet and Dolphin Wolf are ever made, will they be P-Bandai? That's the question. And you don't know. You guys are slipping up. You were supposed to tell me that I missed something. I have to go way back here. I'm not the only one that puts pieces in out of order and has to backtrack. I mean, it happens all the time. If you guys ever watch my live streams, you know it's bound to happen. I think it didn't happen yesterday with the Mercurius and the V8. I think the only thing I did yesterday wrong building the Mercurius and the V8 was that I put, like building the head right at the start, I put one of the stickers on the wrong kit. But I think that was about it. Do I need to take these parts off the front and the back too as well? Damn it. Yeah, I have to backtrack all the way back. How could I be so stupid? All the way back, at least. The good point is, putting this back together again should be pretty easy because I know how it goes. Damn. Has noticed you missed putting in a piece and will now watch you go many steps back to correct that mistake. Thank you. We missed this bar on the top of the... Ah! And I messed up again because this part on the top of the torso frame here is supposed to hold in the neck joint, which I'm now putting on there without the neck joint. Damn it. Come on now. Come on, get it together. It's amateur hour over here. So that goes on there. I saw someone mention in the comments on the unboxing too that apparently people have been snapping the neck joint on this. And so I was warned to be careful about the neck joint. I'm not exactly sure where or how, but I guess maybe that little piece in there or something maybe. I don't know. Alright. Now to get caught up back to where we were. Should be getting my first kit tomorrow. Super stoked, Jonathan said. Nice. What's your first kit? Anyway. There we go. Just get caught up here real fast. Back to where we were. Go, and now we can put this piece on the back because there's the pegs to connect it onto that weren't there before. And I'll just say, how awesome is this kit? I mentioned, if you guys saw my post before the live stream today, my post around on Instagram and stuff, on social media, to let you guys know about the live stream today, I mentioned that this could be the best Master Grade of the year. I'm totally serious about that. I mean, the detail on the inner frame looks great. The detail on the armor is quite nice as well too. It doesn't have a ton of detail, but it's got some very tastefully placed details here and there, I think, which look quite nice. So, I mean, I think when it comes down to like making my best and worst kits of the year and stuff, I wouldn't give a P-Bandai kit one of the best kits of the year ranking. As you guys know, if you've watched my videos, those videos that I've done in the past couple years, what I've done is just separate out P-Bandai. I'll give like all my best kits of the year, and then I'll do like best P-Bandai kits of the year. And anyway, even compared to the best standard release Master Grade kits of the year, I gotta say this one's certainly gonna be a strong contender. Without paying too much attention to these parts and just kind of putting them on without checking the instructions carefully, I somehow managed to put them on the right way. These white vent covers, because on the front and the back one are slightly different, but somehow I managed that. But the left and right side are the same, so we can just go ahead and slip that onto there. But yeah, the color separation on here, the details just seem very, very nice. So nice. So nice, in fact, that I really want to paint this kit right away, but I have a lot of other things that I'm working on that I just don't think I can fit it into the schedule. But I really want to. I'll see what I can do. Is there a left and the right side for those? Those parts should be the same, so. There we go. Hey, Dianjo, there's our first super chat of the day. I came, I saw, I definitely didn't donate. Well, now you did, thank you so much. Right as we're finishing the torso, so here you are. This torso is dedicated to you, Dianjo, thank you so much. There was a mystery pre-order on Japan Amazon that supposedly came out. Someone discovered that it was just the MG Dom Rick Dom 1.5 Roadbuster. I don't think it's the Master Grade Dom. I'll just say that much. And I don't know for sure, but I think it's very possible we may see news about that in a couple of days. With the Shizuoka Hobby Show being on this weekend and Bandai already announcing that they're gonna have some announcements coming like on Thursday and Friday. So I think among those announcements on Thursday and Friday is undoubtedly going to be something related to the new Master Grade kit. I don't know for sure, but I would imagine, because the new Master Grade kit, I think on like Amazon or whatever, it's already slated to be coming out in like August or something, I think, which is not that long from now. So in order to build up hype for the kit, I mean, they need a little bit of time. So yeah, tell us what you know, Gunpla Wise Man. Sorry, Amy, I can't tell you what I know, and honestly I don't know what it's gonna be. But take that and think it over. That should be kind of a hint, I guess. So time to build the head now next here, by the way, which does have a few stickers for the cameras and stuff, as you might expect. Not too surprising there. And stickers in general, again, if you guys didn't see the unboxing video, which I posted yesterday, then you'll know that the sticker sheet is quite small. It's just that. Does the kit have an opening cockpit and pilot figure? Yes. Here's the opening cockpit hatch, and it's gonna be kind of hard because of the angle of that. But yeah, the pilot figure is up in there. Yeah. And I think it, and I know like they can't have, because of the Gundam Sentinel, they can't show like the pilot. They can have just a generic pilot figure in there. And I think it, as far as I can remember, it's the same with like the XS kit. Like it has a pilot figure in there, but it's just a generic one. It's not like meant to be any particular pilot. And there's no like standing pilot figure, like a lot of MGs would come with. What's happening from Okinawa? I thought at first I was just reading that, and I thought you were asking me like what's happening in Okinawa. And I was gonna say like, I have no idea what's happening in Okinawa. Is something happening in Okinawa? But anyway, yeah, so what's happening from Okinawa? Yes, hey, what's going on? Man, I would really love to go back to Okinawa. I've been once before, and fingers crossed I'll get a chance to go back again. Hopefully someday sooner than later, but you know, with the world being as it is and all that, we'll have to see, but I'm sure I will at one point in time later. It'd be nice to go back again to when my kids are a little bit older. When I went the first time, it was just with my son, who was quite young at the time. I think he must have been like 2. It was like before my daughter was born. So, yeah, he must have been 2. It'd be nice to go back when they're a little bit older, and we can, like, you know, explore around more and kind of do more stuff. The face mask on this, even like under the face mask, it's got some cool detail there. And you pop the face mask onto the front of there. That super long, stylistic face mask, super cool. Ryan Croft, hello, hi. Yeah, and again, guys, if you have questions you're asking in the chat, sorry, I'm kind of focusing on the build. I'm trying to also pay attention to the chat as well too, but if you guys are asking questions in the chat and I'm not seeing it, feel free to tag me in your question there in the chat, or put it in all caps, as long as you're not like spamming the chat with all caps. But you know, putting it in all caps is easier for me to pick out in the chat there if you're trying to ask something directly to me. Man, how cool does that head look? That's awesome. I think the face mask is removable in Sentinel, so it has good detail. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, honestly, as much as I love like all the Sentinel designs and everything, I really don't know much about like the story or the actual background. I've not ever read it. I just like the designs. How am I doing today? I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, a little bit tired, to be honest, but very busy day today. Aside from this, later today I'm meeting with the judges for the contest, with the dirty judges for the clean versus weathered contest. For the weathered side, we're meeting today to discuss the winners for the weathered side, and then we're meeting tomorrow with the clean judges to discuss the winners of the clean side of the contest. So I'm busy with that. But should have the winners to announce to you guys pretty soon. And then, as I talked about before, we're planning on doing a couple of live streams to give you guys some feedback on that as well too. Kind of weird. Seems like a kind of weird gap on that. This part on the top of the head seems like it's like not pushed on there all the way or something, but I guess it is, isn't it? Yeah, it looks like, yeah, that's how it looks. It just seems kind of loose on there. So I'll have to just kind of be wary of that. But there we go. Ooh, how cool does that look? Such a cool design. Man, out of curiosity, what was the number of entrants for both sides? Boom Cannon, yeah, that's a good question. I'd say it was 229 in total, and I don't remember the exact numbers offhand. I think it was like around 80 on the weathered side and around 140 on the clean side. For example, I think something like that. It was almost like 2 to 1 more clean than weathered builds, so there's a lot more of those. Mulambo, are you gonna be keeping this one, Zach? Yes, definitely. Yeah, of course, definitely. I'm gonna be keeping this one. It's the Mark V. It's a kit that I've been waiting for forever. I love it. Strangely though, I mean, like, in all honesty, it's such a strange design. Like, I love the design for its uniqueness though. Like, honestly, like, when it comes to like Gundam designs that I like, this probably wouldn't fall into that category just based on the design features. It's got like a lot of weird features that I probably normally wouldn't like, but I just like it just because it's quite unique. I don't know, you know what I mean? Yeah, it probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you guys ever have that? A design where like it doesn't seem like you should like it at all, and like you wouldn't really like it, but strangely it's attractive. You think you can do a size comparison with the FAS and XS if you still have them or something similar? I do still have both of those kits. If I can do a size comparison with them, I'll see. I'm not going to promise that because I think both of them are packed away. So I'd have to go and unpack them, which is kind of a pain in the ass. They're all big kits. I mean, seeing a size comparison, it would allow you to see that maybe this kit is, for example, one head height taller than the XS Gundam or something, for example. But I mean, I don't really know how useful that information would be to any of you guys to really see a size comparison. I mean, I know that's kind of a standard thing that you're supposed to do in Gunpla reviews, is do a size comparison to a bunch of things, and so I usually do it. But honestly, like, I don't know what's for me. I don't really care about the size comparison. Like, yeah, Scuffle's saying just do a size comparison with a 1-to-1 scale ruler. Exactly. Just like knowing the height of a kit is kind of really all you need to know. And for like on master grade kits especially, it's really easy to know because you just go on the Gundam wiki page, check the height of the Gundam, and then move the decimal point 1, because they're 1-to-100 scale. So if the Gundam in canon is like 26 meters tall, then you can assume that the master grade kit is going to be 26 centimeters tall. And while saying that, I had to add the caveat that Bandai hasn't always been good about that. Like, for example, the HG Hazenthal, for example, is not the right size that it's supposed to be. But for the most part, like, by and large, they're pretty accurate to the correct size. So you can kind of just assume, oh no, I only needed one of these polycaps, but I took out both. You can assume that the size should be correct anytime on one of the kits. Let me see here. So there's a few things in the chat I need to catch up with. Troy said, looking at the review on Dalong's site, there shouldn't be a gap in the head like you're experiencing. I'll check it out again here in just a second. Troy, thank you for checking up on that. But like looking at it in the manual, let me see. Yeah, here, yeah, it doesn't look like there should be a gap, but okay, so yeah, maybe I just don't have it pushed on all the way. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I didn't push it in hard enough. Thank you, Troy. Are you planning to paint the kit at all when I get out? Definitely will be doing so. Ryan, yeah, as I was just mentioning a few minutes ago, I would love to paint this kit because I am really excited about it and it looks great. I'm not sure if I will. I'm hoping to. I'll see. We'll see how it goes. I need to finish the Master Grade Jin that I'm currently painting, and if I can, I'll fit this one in as well too. But I'm a little bit just kind of basically because of it's the kind of wrapping up the contest this week. I'm a little bit swamped with that, so because of the whole content creation process, I kind of like have to keep moving. So like it's hard to like if I don't start painting this right away, if I set it aside, it's hard to come back to it later. Like the Perfect Grade Unleashed Gundam is a perfect example of that. I planned to paint that kit straight away, but at the time, like as soon as I built the kit and did the review and everything, and I didn't start painting it right away. Now it's just still sitting in the box under my desk here, waiting to start the painting process, and it's just because I didn't start on it right away. Whereas with the Jin, I started on it right away. As soon as I finished the review, I started working on it, getting it ready for painting, and so now I'm actually painting it, and I'm gonna actually finish it here, probably later this week, hopefully. So it just kind of depends on if I'm able to get started on it right away. And so because I'm busy this week wrapping up the contest, and then later this week there'll be, I'm sure, a lot of big announcements coming out from Bandai. I'll probably have to do kind of impromptu kind of news reaction video later this week. I'm assuming probably on Friday or something like that to all of that news that'll be coming out. I don't think I'll be able to get started on this right away, but we'll see. We'll see. That's all I can say at the moment. Hopefully I can build this, paint it. The question then becomes, how will I paint it? Because I'm not sure. I always like to do, something custom with my paint schemes. Do something kind of unique. I hardly ever paint the kit in just these standard colors. But with this kit, being what it is, I would be more tempted to just stick to the official colors of this kit. But I don't know, maybe I'd want to just like tweak it a little bit. Maybe make it a little bit more closer to like the Gundam Fixfiguration figure for this, I think, is a little bit more desaturated blue. I think the blue is like a little bit darker and a little bit more desaturated. So maybe I'd go for like that slightly different color. Yeah, Boom Cannon, I think a deeper blue. Yeah, I think it's a little bit deeper blue. And so maybe do something like that with it. I don't know, we'll see. Or maybe do something completely different. I don't know. If I'm able to get started on sanding and everything, getting it prepped for painting, then I'll start thinking about the color scheme on it. But for right now, do you think there will be an RG 2.0 in the future? I don't know. That's a good question. I think that is very possible that we might see a 2.0 RG. I think if we do, it'll undoubtedly be of the ARC 78-2 first before anything else. But I think that's possible. Yeah. But I don't know. Good question. Because, nowadays the RG kits are trending more away from the full pre-molded inner frame, which, people have their thoughts on one way or the other. I don't really care. If the kit's cool, then I don't really care if it's got the pre-molded inner frame or not. I know that's like a signature trait of the RG line, but I just want a nice kit at the end of the day. So, yeah, if they were to remake a new RX-78-2, maybe based off of like a different version of the design or something like that. Because honestly, I don't know what they would base the design off of, make it more similar to like the Verka design or something, for example, but I don't think that they would do that. To be honest, that sounds pretty unlikely. So I don't know what they would do as far as the design of that goes, because the original RG is based off of the 1:1 scale Gundam. Same as the 3.0 MG and the G30th HG are all based, and the Mega Size are all based off of the same design. So if they were to do another RX-78-2 RG kit, like, would it, I don't know what it would be based off of, you know? Could be a completely original design, possibly. You know, original as far as like original new variation design of the RX-78-2. I don't know. Do you prefer the Mark III or the Mark V? Definitely, I prefer the Mark V. The Mark III, there's aspects of the design that I like about the Mark III, but there's a lot of the design that I don't particularly like, which is why I've never built the RE kit. That's one of the few RE100 kits that I've never built, is the Gundam Mark III. I'm sure probably someday I will, but I just don't really like the design that much. Boomcan has said maybe they do the new RG, a new RG based off of the Yokohama design. I would hate that, but that's possible, but I kind of don't really expect that, considering that the HG and the 100 scale versions that they put out of that were like exclusive kits to Yokohama. Then I don't think they would use that design for a new 2.0 RG. It's possible though, yeah, but I don't like that design at all, so hopefully not. Ian, thank you so much for the super chat there, Ian. Do you have any opinions on handheld compressors? I've been eyeing them as I don't have space for a larger compressor or a spray booth. Handheld compressor, you're talking about like where the airbrush is just hooked up to like a spray, it's like a compressed air can, like a spray can kind of thing, one of those? Is that what you're talking about? In which case, I've never used one, but as far as I've heard, like, they're usable but not ideal. Loy asked, are you getting the HG Nightingale? Yes, definitely. I'm very much looking forward to the HG Nightingale. It's a MG I really want to buy for sure. Yes. The RG 2.0 could be based on the PGU. That's true. Could be based on the PG Unleashed. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, possible. Yeah, that's a good point. Wearing a respirator may make you look like a fool, but Gundam building isn't about being cool. Did someone say that wearing a respirator is not cool? Is someone actually saying that? That's pretty dumb. Apparently the Mark V with the Gundam face was meant for Amuro use. Yes, yeah, right. So maybe they'll release a variant of this, the Amuro variant. I think that's probably very likely that they'll release an Amuro variant of this kit. They're rechargeable handheld compressors that can attach to airbrush. I'm not really familiar with that, Ian, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure. If you can send me a link or something about it, maybe, but I would imagine it's probably, again, not really the ideal situation, but if you really want to try airbrushing and you really don't have the means to get a proper compressor and spray booth set up, then I mean, if you can make it work, then yeah, give it a try. The Amuro variant white, yes. The Amuro variant's white with red accents. There's a Gundam fixed figuration of the Amuro version of this, isn't there? I believe there's a figure. I don't know if it's Gundam fixed figuration. I believe like cost signature one. Respirators keep you from having lung issues. Yes, and just like, I mean, like when I first started spraying with spray can, I was spraying spray can paint without using any sort of mask or anything like that, and I would notice, like the next day, my throat would be sore. So I mean, you can notice the results right away, at least in my experience. And then just imagine that like built up over time if you're painting like that for months, years, you know, over a long period of time. It's definitely going to build up and do long-term damage too, so don't do that. Mark IV Forever Forgotten. Yeah, honestly, I mean, like I was talking earlier, like this design is pretty weird, but I like it. The Mark IV, however, is pretty weird, and I don't like it. I don't really like the design of the Mark IV at all. I think if they came out with a kit of it, I would be interested, and I would probably want to try it, but I would say, yeah, definitely the Mark IV is not a design that I really like. Airbrushing or spray can painting without a mask will cause rainbow-colored boogies. Yes, that as well, too. Yeah, later you'll notice you're blowing your nose and it's not the usual color. Okay. I'm gonna build this leg now, but keep the questions coming. I'll still be trying to pay attention to that and answer your guys' questions and stuff. I wish that the unnamed MG would be the Snow White Prelude version of the Wing Gundam EW. Yes, I don't think it's going to be that one, Reiji, sorry to say. Well, I do think it's very likely we will see that kit coming out at some point, and it could be announced this weekend, who knows. I'm sure it'll be a P-Bandai kit, most likely, and it could very well be announced anytime, who knows, but I don't think that's that. It's not that. Would you fuck with an MG Mudrock? Yeah, definitely. Mudrock is a really cool design. The HG was great, but I mean, it has seam lines and it's missing colors and things like that. It's an HG, so I mean, it can only be so good. If it was a master grade, yeah, definitely it'd be great. Getting a call. What's this? Hello? Yeah, I thought so. How is the contest judging going yet? Ava Fan, I was just talking about that a little bit ago. I'm meeting with the judges today and tomorrow to sort out who the winners are, so by the end of the week I should have the winners to announce to you guys. So thank you for your patience, guys. There's a lot of entries, and I'm working with 4 guest judges, so it's all about, you know, getting the time, you know, all, it's like, and one of the judges is in Australia, and the other 3 are in America, but they're in different time zones in America, so we're all in different time zones and stuff. So, hey, DT Warrior, what's going on? You caught the live stream. I'm at the beach, still watching my favorite completion. Well, thank you for watching, but I mean, go enjoy the beach. You can watch the playback later on, man. You don't need to watch live. Enjoy your time at the beach, not on your phone. Unless it's like raining or something, but in that case, I don't know why you would be at the beach. No Korean only build stream. Tianju. Oh, sorry. You want a Korean only stream? I wouldn't be able to talk much. It'd be pretty boring. I wouldn't be able to say a whole lot. And sure, I mean, like, you guys would know better than I suppose, but are there many Korean builders that live stream? I'm sure there are. I mean, I know Songdong does. Gunpla Lab. Is it Gunpla Lab or Gundam Lab? He's my friend, and I always forget his channel name. Gunpla Lab or Gundam Lab. It's the same thing like with Simon as well too. Gundam UK. I always have to second guess myself and think, is it Gundam UK or Gunpla UK? And they're my friends. You think I would know, but I'm just that forgetful, unfortunately. Let's see. On the far right of our screen, there's a part that looks like a thruster and a ball joint on a bar. is just an inverted thruster. The far right of the screen would be here. Looks like thruster and a ball joint on a bar. I'm guessing you're talking about these parts right here. The inverted thruster. I mean, no, it's just separate parts there. Maybe it just as you guys were looking at it, maybe it looked like they were the same part, but they're not. It's a little bit. The parts are a little bit dark, aren't they? Let me adjust the brightness a little bit for you guys. Sorry about that. Deny. Better? Slightly brighter. A little bit, anyway. Okay. Are there any late UC kit you want to see? Mine's Anchor. I don't think I could agree with you on that one for me, but like late you mean you're talking like Crossbone or something like that era, like F91 Crossbone, kind of much later. Victory. It's not F91, like Victory. Crossbone, that stuff. I would have to think about it. Nothing really comes to mind right offhand. So I don't know. I would have to. Well, I mean, the Crossbone Ghost and or Phantom kits. Either of those, I've been saying for years. I've been wishing for one of those kits to come out. And Bandai loves making Crossbone variants, so I don't know why they haven't made that. And I'm sure it would be super popular with all the cool effect parts and stuff on it. People would love it. But for whatever reason, still have not got that kit. Either of those kits. Do you think, Ricky is asking, do you think we will ever get more Moon kits? We'd love to get the Bagdoll, Judah, Rick, DJ. I don't think so. I kind of doubt we'll ever get any more Moon kits. It's kind of the same with Thunderbolt. I really wish that we would, because there are some cool designs there. I'm sure people would love it, but yeah, I do kind of doubt that. Alright, so where's this part that I'm looking for here? Let's see. I'm assuming... Oh, it's a polycap part. That's why I can't find it. It's a polycap that looks like a regular piece. That's why I should have checked that. So I just look at the picture. I don't actually look at the number on the part, because I've already got them all cut out, so I don't need to check the number. Oh, but in this case... And, oops. We have to put polycap on here first. You think you might grab the new 30 minutes mission Spinato Sengoku kit type? I don't think so. I don't really like the design. So I don't really plan on getting that. That said, I do have some other 30 minutes mission stuff in my queue here that I need to review for you guys. That's kind of building up to where I need to do like a week full of just 30 minutes mission stuff. It's all like option part sets and things like that. So like, so yeah, I've got a bunch of different 30 minutes missions option part set that I need to get to. But I don't think I'll be reviewing that one. I don't really like the look of it. Need more Zanskare suits, but I'm afraid they killed the RE line for full mechanics. My Shaku's lonely. Yeah, I don't know what's the deal with the RE line. I say like with the coming announcements later this week, if we don't see anything RE100 related, then it's probably fair to say that for all intents and purposes the line is dead. Which is sad. Very sad. I like the line a lot, but what can you do? Are people still talking about the mask? What do you say? The mask makes you look like a techno goon? What is that? Techno goth. Alright, sorry. Say it first. I mean, I guess. PC-15. That's kind of tricky. Hey, wait a minute. Ah. Ooh, very nice. Man, the construction of the leg frame is really cool. You'd think, like, because it's a P-Bandai only kit or whatever, that you know, they don't put that much engineering into it. I mean, they engineer it as much as they have to, but I mean, they're not gonna like overly engineer it because there's not really any need to, any reason to, for a kit that's just gonna be a P-Bandai kit. But man, you can really tell they really put a full effort into this kit. I think it's really nice, which is good. I mean, yeah, you would expect them to put a full effort into every kit, but I mean, as we've seen, you can tell some kits just have much more simpler engineering, which is not always a bad thing. I mean, I don't usually get too worked up about it. Like I say, if the kit looks good, at the end of the day, that's all I care about. But having a nice, like, fun inner frame to put together is always a enjoyable part of the experience as well too. So let's give this a try here. So yeah, when you bend the leg, you got some movement. This part here on the back, see, moves with that, so that'll like tuck in as you're bending the leg. I guess that's to help you get a fuller bend there of the knee, with that part kind of tucking down a little bit. Not that big a deal, but it's a slight move in there. Do you snip out the entire kit from the runners at the start, or do you limb by limb? Andy, the kid, I mean, yeah, I cut out all the runners first and keep them separated, like I mentioned earlier about, you know, all the arm parts here, leg parts here, torso parts here. As far as like how I do that, let me just kind of explain. It just kind of depends. Sometimes I do it one way or the other. So like sometimes what I'll do is I'll like just take the A runner and I'll cut out all the parts from the A runner. So I'll have to go through the manual. So like I'm looking at like the torso section of the manual, and I can see I need this parts from the A runner. So I'll cut those out, put them in there. Next page is the arm, and I'll just need this part from the A runner. I'll cut those out. So I'll go runner by runner, and just kind of. So I have to keep flipping back and forth through the manual, but it's still a pretty efficient way to go about doing it, I think. That's probably the most common way that I'll do it. But sometimes I'll do it where I'll just like take out all the parts I need for the head. So I've got like head here. So I pull out the A runner, I need a couple parts here, put that back. Take out the B runner, I need a couple parts from that, put that back. Take out the C runner and a couple parts from that. But doing it that way means more going back and forth with the runners, which I think takes more time. It's much faster to just flip through the manual. So just have one runner and take all the parts off of that runner, and then on to the next runner. It's like that. If that makes sense, you guys get what I mean? Usually what I'll do is like that. Ever considered giving the armored puppet line of kits a try? Mulambo, I'm not familiar. What's that armored puppet? Doesn't ring a bell. Hi, first time here. Question. Well, welcome. First time here, Blazing. Thank you. Will the USA Gundam Store restock sold out pre-order kits like the Asura Ninetales or the Tamama no Mae? Sorry, not trying to spam that. Yeah, Blazing. For those kits, probably not, because Kotobukiya. The problem is not us at USA Gundam Store restocking the kit. The problem is just that Kotobukiya doesn't remake them. You usually only do, especially for like the variants, like the Ninetales and the Tamama no Mae. They'll usually only do like one run, so they're kind of like in that way, they're very exclusive kits, basically. The standard ones, like the regular Asura Archer and Asura Ninja, they'll reprint from time to time. Still not very much, though. Like, I think they were recently reissued. Just a couple months ago, actually, both of those kits, I believe. But yeah, the variants, I think, never get reissued, basically. So if you missed them at the start, then you probably missed them for good, and you'll have to go through some other different proxy sites or something to get your hands on them, unfortunately. Malambo, they're kind of like Hexagear governors. I think, Malambo, I know what you're talking about. And if it's what I'm thinking of, then I don't really like the look of them, so I'm just not really interested. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't really like that. You know, I'm much more interested in like the mecha stuff, and I believe like with that line they do have some of like the kind of mecha kind of things like with the Hexagear stuff. But yeah, based on what I've seen, there's nothing really that kind of really jumped out at me that looked that interesting. Back in the days you think differently, I cut out all the runners and play separately, and from there just follow the instructions. Yeah, I mean, what I would not recommend, especially on a master grade, on a high grade you can maybe get away with this, but it kind of depends on the kit. What I wouldn't necessarily recommend is just like cutting out all the parts and just putting them in a pile and then trying to, find your way through it. Having some organization is probably a good idea. So, it just depends on you. I mean, I'm pretty time conscious and I try to be efficient. But I mean, at the same time, I think one of the joys of model building is taking your time with the experience and not rushing through it. So like, I try to build very quickly just because it's my job, and I still enjoy it either way. But it's not like I wouldn't necessarily recommend people to, try to build as fast as possible. So like the methods that I use to build, fairly quickly and efficiently, it's good for me and my purposes, but I mean, it doesn't mean that if you're building more slowly, it doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you're building kits more slowly, then I think, you're probably, that means you're getting more build time fun experience out of a kit, which is good. So, that's good. That said, if there's one person who builds too slow, definitely it's Jabman. I know he's not watching. So, but you guys can feel free to tell him I said that. That guy builds way too slow. I see him be working on like just snap building a master grade and it takes like 3 weeks. So I'll tease him about that, but but you gotta love Jab, man. Hey, 1 kit a month is acceptable. Yeah, totally. I mean, he as well too. I mean, like, whatever speed you build at, nobody's doing anything wrong, and all that matters is that he's just enjoying the build. He or anyone. You're enjoying the build and having fun with it, then that's all we need to know. If someone like came to me and said like, hey, I just recently started building Gunpla and I enjoy it, but I don't like that it takes so long to build the kits. If someone came to me like with that thought and they didn't like how long it takes to build kits, then, I would say maybe it's not the right hobby for you. or you can try like some of the techniques, like some of the things that I do to kind of speed the process along. But there you go. Yeah, it's and that's just talking about just the snap building process too. Anyway, when you get into like painting and doing all that, everything else, decals, panel lining, all these other steps, there's a lot of steps along the way that you have to be patient with, and they have to take time. So let's see, what's the deal with these now? So you see on the side of the leg here, where these parts attached, that ball joint is on like a hinge. That part can like come out like that. So I was just wondering like what that's for really, but it's to be able to pop these parts out to the side, which will that help with our knee articulation? Sort of like the master grade wing EW Verka. How like the back of the leg splits open to help with the knee articulation. Like same kind of thing going on with this, but I'm trying to pull this off, and I'm just kind of pulling it off the polycap here, unfortunately. So kind of a pain to actually utilize that, but and it doesn't really seem that helpful really for like the articulation of the knee. It's kind of unnecessary. So yeah, the part that seems to be more so getting in the way is the part on the top of the leg. Yeah, this part, this one. Hey, what's going on, Chris, Pabs, and Mike's in here too. Two of our guest judges are here. My Ducati Technic kit on my shelf. Ex Christmas gift. Anyway. Hello, guys. Alright. Very cool. I love how the top of the leg reminds me of the kind of the fish piggy banks kind of thing, like you see in Gundam Turn A, the fish kind of toy that Laurent has on his neck. Reminds me of that. The top of the leg reminds me of a Mecha we go. Yeah, kind of. I can see that as well too, sort of. Especially just like the shape in general. Jonathan said, "What do you think? What do you think about having geared mechanisms in Gunpla similar to Bionicle?" I don't know. We kind of have that sort of like some kits have like a kind of ratchet system on some joints and stuff, and it usually helps them to be more solid. Solid kits in general, so I mean, I guess it's probably a good thing, I suppose, for strong articulation. Withery said, "Do you know about the Super Mecha Champions game? I heard Bandai is going to make kits for the mechs in that game." I've never heard of it, so I don't know anything about that. Sorry. I hear you have one of these kits. Hostage for Joshua, even man. Yes, Chris, I do. I have Josh's kit. Sometime it may not seem like he builds Gunpla anymore, but he does from time to time, and he hits me up to help him get his hands on some P-Bandai kits sometimes. So when I got mine, this one, Josh asked me to get one for him as well too, so I obliged. So I gotta send that out to him. I gotta go to the post office probably later today, so I have a couple things to send out. to a couple of people who are patiently waiting for their stuff. See, that's in there. See, look at that color separation. Have that separate little piece for the little tiny white accent here on the front of the toe. How great is that? Gundam Age had a toy line that had ratcheted joints, allowed you to swap out arms and legs with the same. That's interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen or heard of that. I've probably seen it around. Hey, is that Joshua? Hey, Josh is here. I just clicked in to watch a little bit right when you're talking about me. Hey, right. What's going on, Josh? Yes, I was gonna send you a message to tell you to come watch because I know you've. Obviously, we're both very excited about this kit, so I was gonna tell you, hey, come watch, I'm building the kit. But I assume I thought usually you're busy at this time of day, working or whatever, so I didn't think that you'd be available. But glad you could pop in for a minute. I'll just say, Josh, because I'm assuming you probably can't stick around for too long to watch, but it's a super fun build, and you're gonna love it. It's really cool, really nice. Let's see. No, that's this one here, like that. Tag Zach if you want him to see your message there. Yes, what we were just saying. How do you feel about the idea of Mecha Musume in general? Yeah, yes, just a heads up to him and anyone else. Yeah, if you are trying to ask questions directly to me, tag me in the question. It helps me to pick it out in the chat there. Mecha Musume kits in general, yeah, you guys know, I like them. I build them all the time, or as much as possible. I like them a lot. And especially it's a nice change of pace from just building robots all the time. It's nice to build something completely different. Look at those feet. So ridiculous. The feet are pretty wild on that. And so the back parts of the foot are on little ball joints, and the front part is on a hinge, and the toe also bends, but only bends up and not down. So like you can only bend that like that, as you can see there. But man, look at those legs. And he is a very big and tall kid, I can say. Already can tell how big it is. I texted Josh that you were talking shit about him. Did you? Mike, how could you do that to me? Rap me out to Josh like that. Did someone rap me out to Jabman too earlier for teasing him for building too slow? Working today on my lunch break. Oh, you're in your lunch break already. Oh yeah, I guess it's almost noon there where you're at, Josh, in Australia. Will you ever do a Build Fighters Diver theme contest where it's focused on more heavily modified kits and kit bashing? Well, I mean, like, pretty much all of my contests have an element that at least part of it is focused on customizing and like kit bashing or modifying or whatever. That's all kind of always a part of any contest, really. But doing like a specific like Build Fighters, Build Divers kind of themed ones, or where like the whole idea is to kind of build in like a similar style as like Build Fighters kind of style. I don't think that I'll ever do that, to be honest, probably. But I mean, especially now that the series are over. Now that those series are done, I would expect probably not to do something like so related with those, but I don't know. I think that probably would have been a good idea for a contest to do like 2 years ago. And even in the universe of Build Fighters, Build Divers, there are straight builds too. I mean, yeah. So, I think like when the series was like at its peak popularity, I think that would have been something cool to do. Yeah, probably. It's unfortunate that I didn't do that. Would have been a good idea, but. Zaidan saying the surface is kind of plain. I mean, yeah, I think it's one of those where it's not a super detailed kit on the outside, but I think it's tasteful in that it's got little bits of detail here and there. I think it looks great in my opinion. But yeah, if you like a kit that has, you know, a lot more detail to it, then yeah, you might find this one to be a little bit lacking in that department. But there's plenty of space there for you to go in and add more detail for yourself if that's what you want. Where two pieces that sandwiched together and I can't find either of them. There it is. This one and the opposite side is where? There it is. Gunpla feet contest win. Ooh, that sounds kind of weird. Maybe a high heel contest where we only allow kits with high heels. I'd be down for that. Are you going? This tall boy, by the way, April Fool video got me really hard. Oh, sorry about that. And I think you missed a word in your question there. Are you going? This tall boy, I think you mean to. I think you're asking me if I'm going to be painting this or something. In which case, yeah, as I was talking about a little bit earlier, I would like to paint it straight away, but I don't know if I will, in fact, be able to or not. We'll see how it goes. And I'm wondering if I put that part on there correctly. I think I did. Yeah. Hang on, sorry. Oop. Come on. Hey, come on. There we go. Where was I? Yes. That part was kind of stuck. Dude, what? Ever better ARS Chiyoda Gundam frame design. What does that mean? It doesn't make sense to me. Is there an announcement coming this week? I hadn't seen anything for Gunpla announcement recently. Yes, later this week, because the Shizuoka Hobby Show is on this coming weekend. So Bandai already kind of announced that they will be having some announcements, some new announcements coming this week, Thursday and Friday, I believe. So we'll see. I'm sure there'll be some cool stuff. Probably we'll get word on what that new mystery master grade is. I think it's very likely we'll find out something about that. And what else? I don't know. We'll see. We'll probably get some updates related to like the stuff that we knew is coming out, but we don't have any further information on, for like the 1.5 version of the DOM, for example. What else? The Virtue, I can assume we'll probably get some update about the Master Grade Virtue. Will be in there as well. So those kind of things I would expect to see probably later this week. Can't lie. What do you say, Mike? Can't lie, I was half watching the April video and you got me with the Devil Gundam. Yeah, I think that was the point that tipped a lot of people off to the fact that I think a lot of people, when I got to the HD Devil Gundam, based on the comments, seems like that was the point where a lot of people said, hey, wait a minute. But yeah, I mean, I tried to make the video all pretty convincing. That one I knew was a stretch, but you know, Bandai does do that. I mean, as far as like HG, shit, that's the wrong place. As far as like really random HG releases, you know. So while it is pretty, it'd be a very surprising one, but at the same time not that surprising because they just do that from time to time. Just release something completely random. Bye, Josh. Josh was saying he's leaving. I missed that in the chat, but yes. Okay, I think he's probably gone by now. But anyway, bye, Josh. Josh and I are planning a Plamo No Trend episode on Thursday. So if any of you guys are looking forward to that, if you guys are enjoying watching those live streams, or if you don't watch them live, you watch them playback later on or whatever, but if you guys are Plamo No Trend fans, we're having a new episode later this week. Thursday afternoon, for us, on this side of the world. So I know, like, if you're in the US, that's not an ideal time for you because it's like 2 a.m. or something. I was surprised they're doing a new Wing RG. Yeah, that was kind of a little bit surprising. They're doing another variant of the Wing RG before doing something else. Like, I would have expected they would have done like a real grade Death Scythe or something. I don't have any expectations that they will do a master grade or a real grade Death Scythe or any other like heavy arms or something like that. I don't think they're gonna do that at any time soon. But if someone told me, hey, they're gonna make a new RG kit from the Wing line, I wouldn't have guessed it would be that one. I would have guessed, oh, another kit from RG kit from the Wing series. Then maybe they are gonna finally make a Death Scythe or something. I'm pretty certain that's what it would be if they were to make any more non-Wing Gundam Wing series RG kits. If it's not the Wing Gundam, then I think the next in line would most likely be the Death Scythe. Epion would have been dope. Yeah, that's yeah. Epion, that's good. That could be a possibility. Yeah. It's plausible. They make an RG Epion, yeah. Probably reusing a solid part of the EW frame and stuff. They're right, must be cheaper. Yeah, totally, David T. I mean, making a variant of the Wing Gundam, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of the same RG Wing kit. So if you've built the RG Wing kit before, probably going to be a lot of that still reused. But I mean, even still, I'm sure it'd be much less than half. Probably like 20% of the kit, if that. Maybe 10% of the kit will be reused, because all the armor on the outside can't be reused, and then all the pieces where the armor connects onto can't be reused. So like some of the frame will be reused, sure, but a lot of the frame is there. Like you have like the core frame and then like the secondary layer of the frame, basically with a lot of RG kits and master grade kits sometimes as well too. It's like the inner frame can be reused, but then like the secondary layer of the inner frame, which is basically for where you attach the armor onto, if all the armor is different, then the place where you attach the armor onto has to be different as well too. So there will probably be a lot of new inner frame parts with that kit as well. It won't be just same inner frame and just armor swap. There'll be probably like half of the inner frame will be reused and all of the armor will be completely new. Ben, do you? Oh, shit. Putting that neon upside down. Are there vaccines available in South Korea? Yes, they've started vaccine distribution here in South Korea. Yes, I am not eligible to get one yet, so I haven't been vaccinated. but I think I won't be eligible, I don't think, until like maybe August or something like that. Still quite a ways out. Is there a mobile suit you just want to see in plastic in general? Well, when asked this kind of similar question recently, when I've been doing the live streams with Adam on the USA Gundam TV channel, kind of my go-to answer recently has been wanting a master grade Rosenzu. Rosenzu. Right. Sorry, why am I getting confused about that? Master grade Rosenzu. Yes, we have that in plastic form. In high grade though, so I mean, I think you're maybe asking me a kit that we don't have in plastic at all that I would like to see made as a kit. The Game Malk is another one that I would love. I think there is an old 80s kit of the Game Malk, isn't there? Pretty sure. And it's like a 1/200 scale or something like that. But I would like to see like a proper HGUC kit of that. Like the RE100 kit, I think would just be too big, and I think the RE100 line is now dead. And I'm sure Master Grade is probably out of the question for a mobile suit of that size. So I think if we were to get any new kit of the Game Malk, I think it would be an HGUC kit, which I'd be totally fine with. It'd be quite large. I don't know exactly the size of it, but as far as I know, I think it's like kind of generally similar in size to like the Kshatriya, if not a little bit larger even, like similar to like the Queen Mantha. But even aside from the Rosen Zulu, just a Gyro Zulu as well would be nice too. We could get some cool variants of that. That's a really nice HG kit. So it'd be nice to see that adapted to a nice Master Grade as well too. I'm not much of an HG fan anymore. But I now mainly prefer the RG and MG line. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I like the HG line just because they're simple and fun, and there's a lot of wide variety available among the different HG lines. So you have a lot of fun stuff to build. Hey, what's going on, Shaggy Buds? I just did a live unboxing during your live film. Well, now that you finished your live unboxing, thanks for popping over to check out the live stream here, and thank you for the super chat. Stickman Idiot. I honestly would like to see 30 minutes missions kits in the next build series. What? You mean like anime series? Like if they do like another like series similar to like Build Divers or whatever, and then for them to also include 30 minutes missions in that? Is that what you're saying? I would say I would highly doubt that that's gonna happen, but I mean it could be kind of cool, yeah. PG new Gundam maybe one day. Yes, Gale, I think that is very likely to happen someday. Who knows when? But I think that a new Gundam, a perfect grade new Gundam, is kind of inevitable. It's just a matter of when that will eventually come out. Would you be stoked for an RG Turn A? If that's on the table, but all the gimmicks of the MG and 144 scale would be incredible. I mean, I do love the Turn A, but honestly, I mean, it's not something that I would be all that excited about. I just don't really get that excited about stuff in the RG line that much. I mean, when cool RG kits come out, I enjoy building them and checking them out and everything, but like, for like things on my wish list of what I would like to see, RG releases is not usually among them. There's that. So yeah, as far as like Turn A Gundam is concerned, though, I mean, if we were to get if someone was saying, all right, Bandai's gonna make a new Turn A kit, what do you want it to be? Then in that case, you know, I'd have to think, well, we don't really need a 2.0 of the Master Grade. The Master Grade's like still holds up very well on its own. It's fine. And the HG kit is also fine on its own as well too, because it's relatively new. It hasn't been out for that long. And so then what does that leave you with? I guess an RG Turn A Gundam, I suppose. But honestly, I would much prefer them to just make like a Master Grade Sumo, or even just an HG Sumo, or some other kits, some other different designs from the series. Because as far as like the Turn A Gundam itself goes, the Master Grade's great, the HG is great, so for that Gundam, it's set, it's fine. But for like the Sumo, the Flat, these ones only have the old 144 scale kits, which are also nice, to be honest, especially for the price. They're only like $6 on that for the kit. But if we were to get like a new proper HG kit of like the Sumo or the Flat or the Kapul, or even an HG Turn X, it would be awesome. I would love to see any of those before seeing an RG Turn A Gundam. Alright, so it's standing, and I'll show you guys it's standing once we're all done, but here's a look. Let me see if I need to see if I can see. Without any upper body, like without any arms or anything, and like for how big and wide the feet are, it's like very much like a pyramid triangle shape. But it's very big. Can't say that too. I need to take a stretch break here. Yeah, see you later, Mike. Talk to you in a little while. I saw your Turn A MG review and it looks great. I just really like 144 scale kit. Yeah, I mean, if you want a nice 144 scale Turn A kit, I mean, definitely check out the HG. Even if you if your first thought is, ooh, HG, I don't really like that, I would say give it a try. First of all, it's quite cheap. I think it should only be like $15 or something. And it's really nice. So much so that, I mean, like, I don't really know how much they would really improve about the design if they made an RG, or like what really they would do different that would be all that exciting about an RG kit compared to the HG. Like, obviously it would have better part separation, probably some more like kind of gimmicks and things like that, I suppose, but honestly, like, the HG already kind of looks great and does everything that you would want it to do, really. So do you think a Kshatriya will be possible to get an MG from, especially now that there's an MG-EX line? I think the Kshatriya is always possible for an MG line. I mean, I don't know if or when they will ever make one or not, but Gale, are whip builds okay to send for the Gunpla critique? Yes. Yes. Sorry, I'm not familiar with your YouTube handle, so I'm assuming you're one of my Patreon supporters, and that's why you're asking about that. But yes, Gunpla critique videos, yes, for my Patreon supporters, as far as those are concerned, yes, you can send whip, and that's kind of more what they're for, really, to be honest, is for like taking a look at works in progress. But we, a lot of the time, also are looking at finished builds as well too, completed ones. Joe Vodside, not MGX, MGEX. The comment about the Kshatriya was asking about the MGEX. About it, the Kshatriya possibly being released as an MGEX. I do love HG too. I'll look into the Turn A then. Thanks. Yeah, definitely check it out. Also, the Turn A Gundam Shin, I think it was called, right? Was the P-Bandai variant. It's also a really cool variant. I'm not sure how much it goes for these days, how rare it is, how expensive it would be to get your hands on one, but if you can get your hands on one for a decent price, it's also a really cool kit, I think, in my opinion. Check it out. I did a review on it, so if you want to see more about that. It's weird we haven't seen a RG Char's Gelgoog yet. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I think a Gelgoog is it is kind of interesting we've not seen an RG Gelgoog. I think that's a pretty good candidate for an RG kit, considering we've got the Zakutu and the Zigok. You know, logically, the Gelgoog should be next in those line of kits. They kind of skipped over the Gelgoog to make the Zeong, right? So yeah, I think the RG Gelgoog is probably likely to come out at some point. Late to the stream, how's the build so far? The build is great so far. It's a really nice kit. Will you do a 2021 room tour? Probably not. Nothing's really changed about it since when I moved in. I mean, there's more clutter and kind of stuff everywhere, but I don't really like doing room tours in general, just because it's just kind of, I know a lot of people like to see that, and I know those videos are usually quite successful, but honestly it just kind of seems like just kind of a waste of time content, in my opinion. I don't watch other people's room tour videos, so it feels like I don't want to make my own. But at the same time, I know a lot of people do watch them. It's just me personally who doesn't really care for them. So I don't know. If a lot of people were asking me for one, I guess I would do another one, but it's not a request that I get very often, so I'm not really very inclined to make a new room tour video. There's nothing really much to show. Scumpla and tools, stuff, paint, I don't know. If I'm spray painting a Hyakushiki in Tamiya Gold, is gray primer a good option, or should I go black? You should go black, ideally, and it should be gloss black to make sure your gold is nice and shiny. If you don't have gloss black, you can use just regular black, and it, I guess would be matte black or whatever, and then gloss coat over that, and then gold. I know it's kind of a pain in the ass process, but if you're wanting like the shiniest gold, and even still, it's not gonna be like shiny like plated gold. You know, it's a different kind of effect. I definitely build an RG Hyakushiki. Yeah, I think as much as I was saying before how like the RG line doesn't really generally excite me all that much, while I'll admit certain kits in the line are, I mean, there are some fantastic, amazing kits in the RG line. But yes, I think an RG Hyakushiki would be a very nice choice for the line. Yes. I think it'd be a really good fit. So I could definitely get behind that. That's one I think would be a very good option. Do I have that in there correctly? Is that supposed to... I guess so. Move side to side like that? Yeah, I guess so. Interesting. There's some like kind of side to side movement a little bit there with the forearm and the elbow joint. Going for the Hyakushiki 2.0 finish on the HD Revive Shiki. Oh yeah, yeah, we could do that. So that goes down into there, and that onto there. That nice, cool piping bit there on the back of the arm, very cool. And like that. This one goes here. Man, it is a real shame that this is a P-Bandai kit. Because I don't tend to be one of those people who hates on P-Bandai a lot. Because, like, some people just get really upset about P-Bandai things. I mean, I think probably one of the honestly, probably one of the reasons is just because of the fact that I live in Korea, where we have access to P-Bandai stuff easily. So obviously, it doesn't bother me as much. In all fairness, there is a. Can you call that a bias? It's sort of a bias, anyway. Or obviously, I'm less affected by the downside of P-Bandai, so I have a less of a negative opinion about it. But the reason why I say for this one why it sucks that it's P-Bandai, it's not because that makes it more expensive for a lot of people or it makes it harder to get your hands on, but yeah, it's just the fact that it'd be harder for more people to enjoy the building process. It's just a shame to see a kit that's so nice that a lot of people just won't have access to. Either they won't have easy access to. So it just kind of seems like a waste in that sense, right? That's a kit that I'm sure a lot of people would really enjoy. And it's just a shame that a lot of people won't be able to get that opportunity because of the fact that it's a P-Bandai. With other P-Bandai kits, I mean, like, it's just there. And I mentioned this recently, and like someone was commenting about this, and I feel like I should mention this or like even do a whole video about it or something at some point, talking about just kind of explaining the fact that premium doesn't mean that it's better in some way. I think this is just kind of a kind of lost in translation kind of thing, where I think in the West or in English for us, like native English speakers, premium in our minds means in some way it's better than non-premium. So there's like this assumption that some people have that premium Bandai means that the premium Bandai kits should be better than standard releases in terms of like less stickers, better color separation, you know, better engineering and things like that. And I think that's just wrong. That's not what it means. That's not what P-Bandai is really about. It's just kind of a thing that's like, yeah, like I said, unfortunately just kind of lost in translation. Premium, in this sense from Japan, Japanese product, it just means that it's limited, basically, is what we would call it in English, just a limited kit. It just means that it's not publicly sold everywhere. It's only sold during a short time through a very specific seller, in this case from Bandai itself. So I think that's just one kind of misconception, unfortunately, that some people have. They expect premium to be better than other standard release kits. So when I see people complaining about like a P-Bandai kit and saying like, oh, it's supposed to be premium, but why it's got so many stickers? And it's like, well, it's an HG kit at the end of the day. HG kits always have a lot of stickers. Or anyway, most of the time, P-Bandai kits follow whatever release. So this is a master grade kit, so it's engineered like a master grade kit. And HG kits, P-Bandai or not, are engineered like HG kits. And so they'll have all the kind of typical pros and cons of that particular line, usually. Is that making sense? So anyway, I think that there's that kind of, I don't know if it's common. I think most people probably get that, but I definitely see that sentiment being expressed by people, and just kind of makes me think it's too bad that they're misunderstanding that in that way, I think. This one, though, certainly feels very premium in that it feels like a really well-engineered master grade kit. Gail saying, I only get frustrated with P-Bandai when it's a full kit not being released in the regular. Yeah, I totally understand that, yeah. Like this kit where it's a completely new kit, where other kits where it's just a recolor and you maybe have a couple of new parts, and that's basically how P-Bandai started. Then I think, you know, that made a lot more sense. But yeah, in like more recent years when they're making completely new kits, like kits that are, you know, not reusing anything, they're entirely new original kits. Yeah, that's frustrating. But again, it's not that like I understand why Bandai does it, and I don't like hate Bandai for doing it. I just think it's just a shame that more people won't be able to enjoy these kits, because at the end of the day, right, the products that they're making are for people to enjoy. It's not like I don't know, designer or like exclusive shoes. I think when Nike or whatever makes like exclusive shoes, I think they're probably making it with the thought in mind that most people buying those shoes are not going to actually wear the shoes. They're just for collecting. And I think obviously there's a lot of people who collect Gunpla, but I don't think like anyone at Bandai, or like the development of kits are not made, they're not developed with collection in mind. They're made with building in mind. But I think everyone knows that there are some people who just collect or collect a lot more than they build. They build up their backlog faster than they can build up their kits. You know what I mean? So I think everyone knows that exists, but still the kits are made to be built. They're made to be enjoyed. So it is a shame when you're not able to, when more people are not able to enjoy building the kits, is what I mean. Yeah, exactly. Swift Wind. It's just a shame they're not more available. More available for more people to enjoy them. Mm-hmm. So that's all. Because they are available. Some people make it seem that like when a P-Bandai kit comes out, they're like, oh, like for example with this kit or something, if someone were to say like, I've wanted a kit of the Mark V for years and years, and now they finally make it a P-Bandai kit and I won't be able to get it. Like, just because the P-Bandai kit doesn't mean you can't get it. Yeah, it's gonna be, you know, more expensive to get or harder to get, again depending on where you live in the world, but like you can still get it. It's not like Bandai is only making a dozen of them and only giving them out to Japanese people. It's obviously not the case. So. They're available either way. Just the might cost a little bit more. And as far as that goes, the increased price of P-Bandai kits go too. That's another thing. It seems like people kind of blame Bandai for how much they cost kits, but Bandai releases the kits at a very reasonable cost. It's the problem is resellers. And I mean, obviously Bandai knows that it's not like they'd be shocked to find out, what? The kits that we're releasing for a very reasonable price are being resold for much more money to our customers overseas. Obviously they must know that that's happening as well too, but I mean, what are they going to do? sell the kits for cheaper to offset the cost of people, of like proxy sellers hiking up the price. They're not going to do that, so what can they do about it? I guess the answer would be to make the kits more widely available directly by having, like, they recently set up P-Bandai America. So finally people in America are able to order their kits directly from Bandai, which is great, but just I wouldn't expect to see P-Bandai expanding much throughout many more countries in the world, like, because then if they start to have it in every country, it's still exclusive, because again it's still like only available at a limited time, still a limited release, but I mean, if they're available in every country, then they are slightly less limited. Boomkin, if they set up P-Bandai North America, are you in China, or sorry, China? Are you in Canada or something and not able to order from P-Bandai America? Gail said, "Man, I'm so glad that these are just chilled and laid back streams. Really help relax with Gunpla." Yeah, I guess trying to be chill and laid back. Or are you being sarcastic in that I'm getting too in the weeds on the P-Bandai rant? Either way. Yeah. Yeah, Ellie Gonzalez, even rare Kotobukiya kits. Yeah. Never really see people getting too upset about Kotobukiya online exclusives, and I think a lot of people probably don't even know that exists. But Kotobukiya has online exclusive kits as well too. But yeah, I think those appeal to a much smaller targeted audience. You know, Kotobukiya in general obviously doesn't do anywhere near the business that Bandai does. But and those are, at least like for now, and as far as I know, most Kotobukiya online exclusives are basically like color swaps or something. They're not like entirely new kits like what we're talking about is kind of a thing that's been happening more often with the Bandai stuff. Have you worked on any resin conversion kits before? If so, do you have any tips on working with them? I have a little bit. Oh shit. There's a nub I missed right there, and it's going to be kind of hard to get this piece out of there now. So let's see if I can. This is going to be really hard to get off. Damn. How can I get this piece out? Damn, I might be pretty screwed with this one. Did you ever have an interest in Bandai 1000 Space Battleship Yamato kits? Not really. It's never really been a series that I was too interested in. Just get into a couple of really fun. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's just not something that I'm really into. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get these pieces apart. That kind of sucks. Not only the fact that I missed this nub, so it's kind of making these not fit together quite right. There we go. But aside from that, ideally I need to take these pieces apart in order to paint them later. So I guess that's a bridge we'll have to cross later on. Let's see. Hamza, what's up? Zach, how's the build so far? Very good so far. Really nice. Anyway. Just trying to see what's going on there in the chat with you guys, but we're still talking about like resellers and P-Bandai stuff and all that, so. Yeah. Here's our backpack parts anyway that we're starting to build here. And our incomes. Oops. Backwards. PC 13. We're almost done with our polycap runner here. After this, there's just 2 polycaps left on there. Is this an entirely new polycap runner? 2015. So what is this originally from? Because, you know, usually building a kit, you'll have a number of polycaps left over, but for how few polycaps are left over on that runner, and I don't know if we will end up using them all or not, because we still have the shield to go, and I think probably there'll be a polycap maybe used in the shield, possibly. But anyway, for how few polycaps are left over on that runner, it's kind of interesting. Surprising. It almost made me wonder if it was a completely new polycap runner made for this kit, but 2015 must be from something else. So what should I do? Diorama of Barbatos' final battle, or repaint a kit and add more detail? I don't know. Alexis over there on Facebook said, got my MGEX starting to build a chest and wondering, is there anything got to watch out for while building it? Not really. If you're planning on painting the kit, then I would maybe recommend not building the kit first. And like normally what I would do, and what I think most people would recommend you to do when painting, or yeah, when you're painting a kit, is build up the kit first, then disassemble it and paint it. But with that kit, because it can be kind of tricky to disassemble, especially if you put the LED ribbon in right from the start. So you could do it like what I did and snap build it up first without the LED ribbon. But if you put the ribbon in first and then you're wanting to disassemble it, just be careful, obviously, disassembling it, not to damage the ribbon. But other than that, no, there's nothing really too much to look out for with that kit. Okay, right side. So now I have to pay attention to the instructions a little bit carefully here, because the left and right side are different. E15, okay. Yeah. Alright, so then our income in here. And close it up. That was easy. Too easy. Flip it around. And this piece goes on the top. And this one goes on the side. Okay. And turn that around. Oh shit. That way. And beam saber in. Like that. This thruster valve. Sorry, I'm trying to focus because yeah, the left and right side of the backpack are different. I don't think it matters that much, but still, it's kind of an odd construction. So just trying to make sure I'm putting it together correctly. There we go. And it seemed like the chat was busy enough discussing about that. Definitely not Shar. How are you enjoying the build so far? I am very much enjoying the build so far. Really fun kit. Very nice. You just joined in, yes. Well, you unfortunately missed a lot of the build, yes. Listen, we're almost done now, but yeah, I can say it's a very fun build. And really high quality master grade. Like I was saying, definitely feels like can be one of, if not the best master grades of the year. Definitely. We'll have to see. I'm sure the Virtue would be great. What else has come out this year, or is coming out this year? What other MG have we had out this year? I don't even remember offhand. Oh, the Jin, which just came out, obviously. Yeah, the Jin was great, but I mean, this is better than that, definitely, I would say. What's the benefit of snap building before you paint? Zodiac asked. Wow. Benefit of snap building before painting is that you can just familiarize yourself with the build, which helps when you go to paint it. You'll know about like which parts you need to pay special attention to, where like you may want to mask for painting, or where you may not need to paint if it's like a frame part and you know like only a tiny little bit of the part is going to actually show on the completed model, so you don't need to waste time painting the entire piece or something like that, for example. But for the most part, it's just to familiarize yourself with the build, and also you can find things like if seam lines or something that you need to remove. Obviously, if you research the kit online ahead of time, like you've watched reviews or you've seen like some photo reviews or something of the kit, so you already know like where all the seam lines and everything are on the kit, then you may not need to build it first ahead of time to figure that out or something, or like you can figure it out without building the kit. But building the kit, yeah, just lets you get more familiar with it and to find where there are certain things that you'll want to fix or want to modify on the kit or whatever as well too. Which of the Wing Boys is your favorite? Are you talking about like Richard, are you asking me of like the actual characters or the Gundams? The characters... maybe Quattro, just because he's like the least obnoxious as far as like being super edgy. But Quattro is also a little bit obnoxious in just his like like flower child philosophy. You know what I mean? He's a bit too Canadian, I could say. Almost too optimistic. That can be a little bit grinding as well too. But in general, he's definitely probably the least edgy one, so I guess probably Katra. Not exactly a kit, but there's a metal build exterior repair 4. Yes. Doug saying a good point here that I want to read. Doug said, I don't want to sound like a guy who just throws money around, but Gundam kits are honestly a steal for the most part, especially if you love building. Yeah, I think that's a very good point. I think, like, objectively, Gunpla kits are very, very decently priced, very fairly priced compared to other model kits. And like as far as like hobbies go, any hobby, anything you can end up spending a lot of money on, right? So people saying that like Gunpla is an expensive hobby, I've never really agree with. Wouldn't agree with that. It just depends on like what you're doing with it. So like you could say, like, if your hobby is reading books, you could say reading is an expensive hobby. Yeah, if you buy like 20 books a month or something like that. But I mean, at that point, you know, why don't you just go to the library? And you can't obviously go to the library for Gunpla. It's not maybe the best example in that sense, but you guys get what I mean. If you don't have if you don't have you know, a lot of disposable income, then yeah, I would not recommend, you know, buying loads of Gunpla. But you can buy, you know, a couple of kits here and there or whatever, and then like just enjoy them and not end up spending too much money on them. But yeah, I agree with that sentiment. Any hobby is expensive when you're broke. Yeah, that's when you need to get a hobby of reading books, because you can just go to the library. And it's good for your brain. So some could argue reading books is in fact the best hobby there is. Although I think Gunpla is still a pretty strong contender, but here we've got clear parts on the rifle, on the top and on the sides. We got stickers to cover them up, basically for all of the different, any different like camera lenses or anything on the kit, which I guess is what these are supposed to be. Seems kind of weird that it's got cameras on like the front, the top, and the sides of the gun. I don't know if those are supposed to be cameras or just like lights or something, or I don't know, but it's kind of odd. But there are clear parts for all of them if you prefer. My new strategy is just to take a really long time to finish my builds. That way I technically buy less of them. Exactly, Milky. Shame, that's a perfectly great way to go about it, I think, yeah. Just that's what I was talking about earlier in the stream. I was talking about taking your time with builds and not focused on like trying to build them faster or something, like I do. Tend to build pretty fast just kind of out of necessity, but if you can take your time with the builds, you're really getting a lot more value out of it, really. And especially if you know, are again on a budget and you can only justify, you know, buying maybe 1 or 2 kits a month or something like that, then yeah, by all means, it's a much better option to just take your time with it, take it slow. So there's the beam rifle. It's a really weird beam rifle design, but I mean, it looks great. I mean, as far as kit goes, very unique, though. That's for sure. So there's that. And we got the shield and the missile pods, and we're almost done here with this guy. So there's that, and I got my shield piece up over here. Goes on there. That's first, and then number 2 is this piece here, and 3 is this piece on top of there, Yeah, man, just the color separation, the details on this. Like in these vent details, like you actually have like slotted vents. Like normally times on most kits that would just be like a detail there where you have to fill that in with panel liner or whatever, right? But it's actually slotted, and it's the same thing like on the chest vents and everything too, and on the backpack. On this part, and it's gonna be kind of hard to show you guys, but on the underside of this part on the backpack there is actually slotted plastic there for the vents. Pretty amazing. Do you have a paint scheme in mind for this kit, or is it not high on the painting priority list? Well, yeah, I was talking about this a little bit earlier. I would like it to be high on the painting priority list. Hopefully it can be. I'm not sure if it will be or not, but if I can actually start working on painting this sooner than later, then I'll start thinking about the color scheme. But as it is at the moment, I've not thought too much about the color scheme of it because I don't know if I'll be able to start painting it right away or not. Hopefully I can. At which point I will, once I start working on it, then I'll think more about the color scheme. But probably I'll stick pretty close to the original scheme, I would think, but I'm not sure. Yeah. And I can now confirm there aren't any polycaps used in the shield. I was expecting maybe one of our last couple polycaps maybe to be used with this, but nope. So we have a couple of clear parts, and our last couple of stickers though are going to be used here. Sticker 9. Looks like backpack looks like MG Zeta backpack. I mean, yeah, it would have a kind of similar vibe to the Zeta Gundam. Very long sticker here. Oops. That's nice. This clear part doesn't want to stay on there. Oh, because I got it put on the wrong place. I was trying to put it onto there. That's not where that goes. That's why it's not staying on there. Okay. That's better. Kind of tricky one here. There we are. Oh, do I have the sticker on there right? I think I... Can I take that off easily? I put the sticker on there wrong. It's not very clear about that, unfortunately, about where the sticker goes on that. It's like kind of like a long piece, and you have to put the sticker like all the way to the front, and I put it all the way to the back. So let me see if I can get that off there. It's not that big a deal. It's not that visible that I put it on there wrong, but at least try to stick that down again correctly if possible. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like with master grade kits, you would expect the color separation to be good and for it to not be very reliant on color correcting stickers, and that's obviously something you would expect much more with the HG kit and not a master grade. But even still, there's plenty of master grade kits that are missing color apps and have little stickers, but I think with master grade kits, Bandai typically does try to avoid using much stickers, even if there should be one. It seems like they usually kind of don't really want to give stickers with that. They'll just have it just be a missing color app. With this one, I mean, it's all there basically. It's like nothing. It's not really anything that's left in the wrong color. I mean, there's little details and stuff you could paint in, but I mean, even like on the inside of these little vents, like here on like the top of the shield kind of thing, you got like separate gray parts in there for those little bits. I mean, look at that. That's impressive. Man. It's a nice kid if I've ever seen one, boy. Phew. It's like every step of the way building this kit, I'm just continuously impressed by it. You would think, okay, maybe, you know, by the time you get to the weapons, it's like not that impressive, it's pretty standard, but no, even the weapons are great. Damn. What's that say? Broman's talking about the Resident Evil Village game. I don't know where that came from, but alright. Fair enough. It's got these couple of parts here, which are for the income. Oh, and I missed the marks on those to get that. The Mark V's shield makes 0 sense. Yeah, it's not much of a shield, is it? It's quite narrow. And for how big of a mobile suit it is, it seems like it's more of like a hand-to-hand combat shield, where it's more meant to just like physically block the melee strike from a enemy mobile suit, a punch or a beam saber attack or something like that, right? It doesn't really seem like it's meant to block like ranged fire, because it's very narrow. You have a hard time doing that. Kind of similar to like the Flag's shield, which I'm certainly not an expert on it, 00, and especially the Flag. But I think like the Flag's shield spins or something, doesn't it too, right? So I guess it does that, but it's very narrow, right? Shields are historically meant for both offense and defense. Yeah, yeah. So I think this one is kind of like that. It's not really. I mean, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Generally, most Gunpla shields, you know, most shields in the Gundam universe are not quite so narrow, but. All right. Shoulder bristles, right side. So we got the right and left side are different. So I had to once again pay close attention to what I'm doing here to make sure I'm building them the correct way. There you go. And this one here like that. Interesting. So it says for like the missiles, they're not symmetrical anyway, but it says you can put them in either or, however you want. So, okay. Guess it doesn't matter too much. That there, and this one here. So pretty simple here for missile pods. Just a few pieces, but again, still the color separation is great. The gray piece on the interior, got separate red missile parts, and all that. Looks very nice. So that's like that. I'm just kind of double checking, making sure I put the right piece on there. Because then this piece goes on there in a different way. No, not that one. Hey? Ah, sorry. Like that. There we go. And once again, doing one of these, and we'll maybe have it opposite on this side. I'll try to just make sure that my missiles are opposite each other so that it looks better. Okay. And then let's plug them onto here like that. It's easy enough. Cool. Man, those look great. Yeah, and they're opposite. Phew. Managed to pull that off. So that's one side. And just repeat. Easy enough. So that's like that. And one of these needs to go this way. They did a really nice job engineering this kit, I gotta say. So let's see, that's the missile. In that one, the missiles are up and to the right. So on this one, we'll have down to the left, opposite. And this piece in here like that. Uh-oh. Now that I'm like putting these last pieces together, I'm realizing, what's this little white piece here left over? It goes on the back of the gun. Forgot to add that on there. There we go. Back of the rifle. Alright, so then finally, this one go on here like that, and this one on here, so that's our left side. And to put those in on the shoulders, how do we do that? Oh yeah. See if I can show this to you guys. It's gonna be kind of hard because it's getting kind of big for on camera, but how does this work? So there's, yeah, there should be this little guy right in there. This little flap which is supposed to open up. Oh, or this whole thing. Sorry, I'm just gonna, and maybe I should be easier to take off the shoulder armor. The whole shoulder armor part will open up like that. When I was building the shoulder armor, I noticed the frame parts of the shoulder armor had like a peg in there, and then like as I'm putting it together, the peg was not used. I'm thinking like, why is there a peg on that part? Maybe that's for like maybe that's a part that's going to be used for the Dovin Wolf or the Silver Bullet later, and that's why there's a peg on there that's not actually used by this kit. But it is used by this kit. It's for attaching on the missile pods, of course. Yes, now that it makes sense. So you open up the side of the shoulder like that, which looks awesome too. It's a really nice little gimmick there. You open that up and the little peg pops up there. And that's where you plug on the missiles onto the shoulders. How cool is that? Man, that is nice. So cool. I love this kit. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. Alright, let me get him standing and I'll show you guys how it looks. It's amazing. Wowie zowie. What a kit. And very large. Alright, let me get the camera way back so you guys can see that. There we go. Turn more that way. There you go. Look at that thing. Woo! Beautiful kit. Wonderful kit. The shield just slots onto the back of the arm, easy peasy like that, or onto the backpack. Let's just go ahead and put it on the backpack for now. Should be, yes. Have to kind of maneuver it between other stuff there, but can get that squared away on the backpack. Mine's still a little bit off, but yeah, anyway, awesome. Hey, what's going on, Strider Prime? Am I going to paint it? Yes, as a few people have been asking me that all during the stream, but yeah, I would love to paint up straight away. I'm not sure I'll be able to fit it into the schedule, but as much as I'm loving the kits, I really, really want to paint it, yes. So I will do my best to try to fit this into the schedule and paint this up in the very near future. So yeah, there it is, guys. So thank you so much for hanging out today. A little bit longer stream, took us a while, 2.5 hours still. I mean, not that much considering how large this guy is, but it's a very fun kit, a very nice kit. The shield's upside down. Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, maybe that's why. Oh, be careful with the V-fin. Maybe that's why the shield is not... I didn't check the manual. If the shield, I don't remember. Is it supposed to be pointing up the opposite way? That would make sense. I think you're right. That's probably why it was a little bit weird. There we go. That's better. Yes, so shield. Cool, and I'll turn it around for you guys to see that. The back side. There you go. Look at that. We need to get these kind of straightened out. Very cool kit. Is there a spot to store the beam rifle? No, I don't believe you can store the beam rifle anywhere on this. No, it's just either in hand or not at all. So, that's here anyway. Man, alright, well, I'll work on my review of this, obviously, and you guys will see that in the near future, but I can tell you, it's a fantastic kit. Beautiful kit, and very large. Yeah, so let me see. What do I have on hand nearby that I can give you guys a comparison? Well, here, I've got the Gundam Verka. There you go. It's a big boy. Look at that. Yeah, the blue is really nice. So that's why I'm saying, once I get to starting on like painting it, I had to figure out what colors to do, because I think it's one of the ones where I would be tempted to not do a custom color scheme on it and just keep it in its original colors, but I don't know. We'll see if I end up wanting to change the colors on it or not. I don't know. I'm sure I'll probably want to tweak them a little bit, but either way, yeah. Even if you're not planning on painting, the color, the blue is really nice on there, just straight out the box. It looks fantastic. If you just were to go in and pen align some of the details in, which again, it doesn't have a ton of surface detail on there, which could be a good or bad thing depending on your own personal preference. I think it looks great as it is, but if you were just pen aligning the details, put on the waterside decals, which it has waterside decals as well too. Put those on there. Put on some top coat, and I mean, you'd be good to go. It'd be a great looking kit even without fully painting it. So there you go, guys. That is going to be it for today. Thanks for hanging out. I'll be working on the review of this, but also later this afternoon and also tomorrow morning, I have my meetings with the judges for the Clean vs. Weathered contest. So I'll be working on figuring out who the winners are going to be for that contest and let you guys know that by the end of this week. Also later this week, you can expect I'll probably be doing some sort of live stream or some sort of reaction video to the announcements that are coming from Bandai on Thursday and Friday. So maybe like Friday afternoon I'll probably have to do that once those are out. All that new news coming out from Bandai later this week, so look forward to seeing what that's going to be, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts on all that stuff. But that's what's coming up later this week. And then after the winners of the contest are all announced as well too, then yeah, we will be doing a couple of live streams to give some feedback for you guys who did enter the contest. Even if you didn't win, you'll get some feedback from us. I'll be doing one here on my channel with Aaron and Mike for the weathered side, and for the clean side, because there's a lot more on the clean side, we'll be doing two different live streams. One Adam and I will do on the USA Gundam TV channel, looking at builds and giving our thoughts on them. And we'll also do one on Chris's channel. I don't think Chris is here. He was here earlier on, but they have their critical series there on the channel, so we'll be doing an episode there where we're taking a look at some of the clean builds from the contest as well too, over there on that channel. So like I said, I'll try to have the winners announced for the contest by the end of this week. Probably early next week is when I'll announce to you guys when the feedback videos are all going to be taking place. But yeah, just stay tuned for that. Anyway, for now, that's going to be it for today, guys. So thanks for hanging out. I'll see you all later. Have a great rest of the day, and bye-bye.